What up, yo?
Hello.
Hey, Andrea.
Hello. How are you?
Chilling, bro. Kind of tired. How are you?
I'm great. Chilling too.
Based. Um, we want to talk
Yeah.
about sort of a serious convo. You up for that?
Okay.
Hell yeah. Have you thought much about animal rights and how the food that we eat gets to our table?
Huh?
Have you ever thought much about animal rights or how the food
Yeah.
we eat gets to our table?
No, I haven't. I mean, animal rights? Man, I haven't thought about that, no. Why?
Because I think it's a really important topic and something that we interact with 3 times a day as we choose to consume the bodies of animals for food.
Damn,
I
I
think
was not
it's
ready for this conversation.
hey, that's okay. That's what I'm talking about, right? Like this is a serious convo I want to have. If you wanna avoid talking about
Yeah.
this right
I
now,
mean, like
feel free to.
I'm up for like a serious conversation, but like I've never thought about this topic and probably the way that you're gonna describe it to me.
Well, I don't need to describe any certain way. I think what is probably overwhelming already is you're thinking about what it actually entails for animals to get to your plate. I think you're capable of imagining that without me having to describe
I
it.
mean, I understand where meat comes from and like the process it takes for it to come to the table, like shipping it and getting it to factory and all that like step by step stuff from the moment you kill it till it's in my stomach, you know?
Yeah.
I have thought about that, but I haven't really thought any serious of it because I eat meat and that's just my choice, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I suppose I'm interested in imploring you to think more about the choices that you make because evidently your choice ends up in somebody having to die for you to consume food. Yeah. And that's something we shouldn't do lightly.
I
when you
mean,
when you
yeah, but are we
when
talking
you
about
when you think
animal
about
life or
yeah, we're talking about
life?
when I talk about animal rights, I'm talking about the rights of the animals that have to be slaughtered for them to become our food.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that it's getting mass produced. Like, there's huge farms with cows and pigs and chickens, and they're farming it constantly, like all year around. Like, it's a supply
Absolutely.
that won't stop until
Yeah, I think that's more of a
like
reason for us
farm
to be
itself.
concerned with the welfare and the conditions that these animals live in, and furthermore, the fact that they have to be slaughtered at all. These industries are so massive and so large and are constantly farming animals. Why? Because we pay them to do so, right? We make the choice that
Yeah,
is,
but
hey,
also,
go slaughter an animal on my behalf. Yeah.
like, if we didn't stop the reproduction of meat and red meat, the race, like the cows and stuff, they would most likely go extinct because it is a farm animal. It's not. It used to be a wild animal until we took it in and then um made it into a farm animal. You know, this is our doing from day one, from the moment we decided to start eating red meat. You know. It's been like this for generations and centuries and hundreds of years. Farming, like it's a way of farmers to get income to put food on their tables. It's just their job. And some farmers are like born into it, you know? And I think it's something that you really can't stop. There's nothing to stop like farmers from farming. The cows will always be there until the race just goes extinct, you know?
I think what would stop farmers from farming is a lack of profit incentive to farm, right? If people are not
Yeah,
paying
but
farmers to farm, then farmers will not farm animals in perpetuity. So what precedes that is an answer that is we can stop this or we can change this by our own volition, right? It is our choice what we contribute to. And if we see this as a system that systemically breeds animals en masse, tortures them, makes them suffer, and then results in their slaughter, right? I think we can recognize that the only reason this industry is propagated is by our literal dollar, right? So it's not some nebulous problem that there's no answer to. The reason this industry is so large and seems like it's out of control and something that we can't stop is because we pay for it to exist in this capacity, right? And what I would like to
yeah, but
implore you to
also
consider is 3 times a day you go out of your way to pay this industry, and it results in a victim dying. It's not just a farmer's job that he is going out and like creating product. No, no, an animal had to be impregnated for this race to be of this massive size, and there are victims every single time we contribute monetarily to this industry. It's not just a faceless, nameless product, right? They're beings with experiences similar to ours that we should value and not see as just, oh, this is just an industry that's been propagated by history forever. That's just not the case. I don't
yeah,
see it that way.
I get what you're saying, but from the moment we started farming red meat, there's kind of no way of stopping it because yes, it is profit, and if you don't profit, they will stop, but it will cause hunger from like all over the world, not just you, but it's gonna cause a lot of issues if meat farmers just disappear. We have nothing to replace meat. I mean, we do. We have supplements and we have vegetables, but humans are made to eat meat. Our bodies are made to take in meat and process meat. We have the teeth for it. Like the biology itself says it. We are supposed to eat meat. We cannot survive off of just a vegetable. It is possible. It is possible, yes, in today's life. But before in the day, when supplements and all of those ingredients came to us, there was no way of surviving without red meat.
The fact of the matter is, animal farming will not disappear overnight, right? This is a industry which we should deem as unethical and phase out, right? And that's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen at the snap of my fingers, right? So this concern about people suffering great hunger as a result of this industry being phased out is not that realistic. I think it'll take decades, if not hundreds of years, before we actually phase out animal farming. And in the meantime, we ought to transition to means of farming that are plant based. And it will be the case that these farmers will do that out of their own volition, right? If they are not being incentivized to farm animals, they're going to do something similar, like farm plants, right? They have the infrastructure and the property to do so. They're not going to go from not or from farming animals to farming nothing. So we're still going to be provided ample amounts of food, and it's just the case that individuals like I have been eating plant based for years now. There's been individuals, populations of individuals in blue zones who've been eating plant based for hundreds of years, and hundreds of years at a time. It is the case that on a plant-based diet you can be wholly healthy without red meat or without any meat at all. Um, I'm more interested in what do you think about looking at what these farmers look at products, the cow, the chicken, the pig. What do you think about the concept of seeing them as victims of oppression, victims of exploitation, victims of torture and victims of slaughter. Do you think this is like a reasonable way to view them? Do you think that they deserve to be considered in this manner?
I mean, the thing about reproducing goes the same way as reproducing plants. I mean, you produce and you produce and you produce until like your fingers could fall off, right? You could just stand there all day and continue and plant and the plants will grow and you will have your supply. But that also happens in human life and in the circle of life. Everything gets reborn. A cow can get slaughtered and it will be reborn, not with the same soul, but it comes back again. It's always reproduced.
Okay.
They kill, yes, but they kill. I mean,
This
if you keep on reproducing cows, are we just gonna have a land full of cows?
well,
What
no,
if we stop producing cows?
we wouldn't be incentivized to impregnate cows for our own gain,
Yeah,
right?
but
Like
they
that would
they
be
will
the excuse me.
they will impregnate themselves, right? And let's not
I don't think
forget.
they'll be around to impregnate themselves. Unfortunately, like I live amongst a race of like torturous beings who are probably going to decimate the entire population of cows, and cows will like end up in somebody's stomach and come out of somebody's ass. There's not going to be like an overwhelming population of cows that we have to be concerned about impregnating each other en masse. Cows exist to this scale because we forcibly impregnate them for our own gain, for the sake of dairy and for the sake of red meat. So that wouldn't be a concern. And the other thing is like you kind of seem to um, um, quell this moral quandary that is animals being slaughtered for the sake of meat by saying, "Oh, a cow will be reborn." And I respect your belief. If that's something that you believe in spiritually, I would ask you then, what would stop me from slaughtering a human being and saying, "Well, they're going to be reborn," and then using them for my steak?
I mean,
Is
you
there
can't
could we not
really.
use that same
I
principle of
understand.
rebirth kind of making slaughter okay? Because it seems to be in the case when cows are being slaughtered, you seem to be implying that their slaughter is deemed necessary or all right as a result of that they will be rebirthed one day.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think you can measure up to killing a cow and killing a red meat animal to killing a human being. Because the full purpose of having a cow is to collect their milk and then eat their red meat. You don't see a cow taking a bus, going to a job, and doing something for our community and doing something for us humans. Like, the value of a human life is bigger than a cow life because they cannot socialize the way we can. They can't speak. They can show signs, but they can't speak. They're not intelligent like us. I'm not
Okay.
saying that the value of a cow drops because they're not intelligent. It's because it's an animal. It's not the same as us. You would go to jail for killing a human, and I don't think you would go to jail for killing an animal if you're hunting.
Mm. I it's interesting. You did say that it sort of comes down to like your intelligence, your ability to interact with society, your ability to contribute with society. Are these the things that make it so that like an individual shouldn't have their throat slit? Like this is what like affords you the right to life? Is the ability to go on a bus, the ability to talk to other people, the ability to pass a math test. Like this is like are these the things that qualify you to not have your throat slit? Because I can find you populations of human beings that aren't capable of this sort of intelligence, aren't capable of contributing to society, aren't capable of going on the bus, right? Aren't capable of passing math tests. But it doesn't make it so that these individuals are worthy of being slaughtered. I don't think that there's any such thing as being made to be or to have some sort of purpose. I think that's sort of like it's a sort of like racist idea. Like I wouldn't say like women have a purpose that is to like rear children and to nurture men and children. Like these things would be ridiculous. Like these are roles that we can fit and roles that are forced upon animals to fit. What animals would do if they had the capacity to live their lives in their own volition is they would live their lives in whatever means that they deem necessary and whatever means that they desire to live them in. I don't think I think it is I find it to be offensive that you would say a cow's only purpose is to be impregnated by human beings and have her milk taken away from her that would otherwise be for her babies, and then later on be slaughtered at the end of her life. I think that is incredibly offensive to reduce an entire being's life to giving milk to another species and becoming red meat for another species.
Yeah, I understand your point of view. I have to put a disclaimer. I'm not talking on behalf of me because I barely eat meat myself. I think it's too expensive to buy anyway, so I don't eat it. I've probably bought meat a total of 6 times from the past like 2 years that I've lived by myself.
What about
I'm
dairy
speaking
and
on behalf
eggs?
of like
I'm more interested. Sorry, I apologize for cutting you off. Please finish.
I'm speaking on behalf of like the big industries, right? That's their thought.
Okay.
But when it comes to my own personal opinion, I do agree with you on some parts, but since I also eat meat when I can, um, it's just how it is. I mean, it's your opinion and it's my opinion, and we could have this conversation for long, but I just see that it won't come to an ending because I'm always going to come with the same response. And I
I
mean
just
it
wanted
in
to
a
add something real
respectful
quick.
way.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something real quick because um, I know in the beginning you said that animal rights is something you never really thought about,
Yeah.
but I actually I think you have. Um, I want to ask, do you have any like dogs or cats?
Yeah, I have two cats with me right now.
Yeah. So when it comes to animal rights, we already have rights for dogs and cats. It's under the law to not abuse them, and I assume that's something you agree with, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So all that we're asking for is that other animals, like the ones that you eat, get the same respect to have that right to life. Um, and I'm just wondering, what is the difference between your cats and the cows that you eat that makes it okay to slit the throats of the cows for taste pleasure, but not cats?
I mean, I agree. As I said, like I agree with the rights of other animals. Um, but I mean, I don't really have anything else to say because I eat red meat, and I do agree that they could find a more humane way to do it, but I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
I've
So
expressed my opinion.
yeah, and we hear you, but I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that we could? Do you think it would be ethical or okay to do this to cats, what we do to cows?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, so why don't you think that would be ethical to do it to cats?
Because cats are looked at as an house animal, something that a human owns. I mean, I guess you own the cows that you killed too, but it's, I don't know, a different kind of bond. I don't know how to reply to that. That's a tough question. I
So
mean, like you
what?
have Asian countries that eat every kind of animal. They eat dogs and cats too.
So
Not
what
not
I'm
saying
asking
Asian
more
or
specifically, like for example, you say it's wrong to do that to cats, right? Um, but why is it wrong to do that to cats? I know you mentioned because they're owned, but is that the only reason, or is there another reason, like that we shouldn't, kill them because they have the right to life, or we shouldn't like hurt them when it's not necessary? Or are those other reasons why we shouldn't do that to cats?
I mean, fuck, I haven't thought about that question actually. No, like someone has never asked me these questions, and also I'm kind of high, so I don't know how
Yeah,
to
because
reply.
presumably, I think I think I would say that it's wrong to do that to cats and dogs because we know that cats and dogs have the capacity to suffer, they can experience emotions, and people are always like, oh, look at my dog, my cat, it's so funny, it's playing around, it's doing this. We understand that they're conscious creatures, and that for that reason we shouldn't harm them when we don't need to,
Yeah,
right?
but
So
cows and pigs and chickens also have a conscious mind.
yeah, that's my point, right? They also have
Yeah,
conscious, they also have emotions and the ability to
yeah,
suffer.
they have a
So
life too. They have emotions. They suffer. They feel pain. I totally agree on that one.
yeah, so then it just seems like a contradiction to think that it'd be okay to do that to them when clearly they suffer the same, right?
Yeah.